Good morning, my dear students. Once again, I am here to take your economics class. I have already started the basic concept of economics. Last class, I discussed about the utility and how is the utility can be created. So, I told you yesterday, the utility is nothing but the capacity of the goods and services to satisfy your needs or to satisfy your wants. In simple words, we can say utility means the usefulness of a commodity or the services or goods. So how is the utility created? I told you, utility need to be added. It will need to be created by some persons. How it is created? It is created by changing its form. Second, I told you, utility is created by changing its place. Third, I told you, utility also can be created by changing with the time. Another important, I told you, besides these three, what we call the service utility. The utility which you cannot touch, but we can feel that the uses of nurse, the uses of teachers, the doctors or the lawyers or the singers, this is called the service utility. Today I am going to discuss some of the important characteristics of the utility. So what are the features of utility? What are the most important characteristics of a utility that utility cannot measure in cardinal numbers? We cannot say how much utility or how much satisfaction I got after consuming a unit of that particular commodity. No one can say this. If I take an apple or if I take a Coke or the Pepsi, I cannot say exactly how much utility I derived after taking a Coke or the Pepsi or an apple or a orange, because utility is purely a matter of psychology. This we feel only through our inner hearts, but we cannot say exactly the 20 utils I got from a Pepsi, 25 utility I got from Coca-Cola, 30 I got from apple or the orange. We cannot measure utility in cardinal numbers like 5, 10, 15, 20 and so on. So utility is not measurable. Utility cannot be measured in cardinal numbers. Second important features of the utility. Since it is purely a psychological concept, purely a psychological matter, utility does not have the real existence. You cannot touch it. Only we can feel it. Only we can feel it. There is no real existence of the utility. We feel it through our introspection, through our inner heart. So not only it cannot measure in cardinal numbers, but utility does not got real existence. Third important thing, utility varies or differ person to person. How? Okay, you may have the choice of Pepsi, but I have the choice of Coca-Cola. But if two person takes the Coca-Cola, one person told, oh, very nice, very fine. But the same another person, okay, quite okay. Neither good nor bad. Two person taking the same product, Coca-Cola, but their expression is different. That means the satisfaction or level of utility differ person to person. You may like orange, I may like apple. You may like apple more, I may like orange more. Choice differ. Satisfaction level may be differ from the same commodity. In this sense, utility always differ person to person. It is not necessary from the same product, after using the same product, the same satisfaction will be derived by both this person. No, it will differ. It may differ, no doubt. In this sense, utility is a relative term. It is someone, it may be very good, but someone, the same product may be less good or no, less satisfaction he may got from that product. In this sense, utility is a relative term. Other important features of a utility: utility does not bear any moral connotations or any moral significance. There are many products, maybe to you, does not have the utility, but another person, the same product, have the utility. I am giving example. To a dacoit, a gun is very essential to make threat or to loot the other property. The person who takes cigarettes, if you ask him, then why you are taking cigarettes, he will get angry to you. Cigarette has no significance to you, maybe. Gun has no significance to you, but gun has a significance to the dacoit. Cigarette has a significance to whom? To the chain smoker. Maybe you do not take wine, but other persons is very much fond of wine, but you cannot prevent him to take wine on this ground. So naturally, in this sense, utility does not bear any moral significance. Of course not. Many people does not know the taste of the pork, but some people know. Many people does not know the taste of the cow meats, but some people know. Some people prefer it. So it does not bear any moral significance. We cannot compare utility with the morality of a person. Other important things: utility and satisfaction. These two words are not the same. What is utility? The use value of the commodity. The power of the commodity to satisfy your want. So what is satisfaction? Satisfaction is the actual utility, actual pleasure you derive from using that commodity. Suppose I buy this pen to write on the whiteboard. This is the utility, use value of this pen to write on the whiteboard. But if you don't write well on the board, then what will be my expression? This is not good. This is the actual pleasure. This is the actual pleasure. This actual pleasure is called satisfaction. The use value of this pen is called the utility. So utility and satisfaction are not same. These two are different. We must not compare. We must not confused. Utility and satisfaction is the same thing. So these are the characteristics of what? Characteristics of the utility. So just now I told you, utility is nothing but the usefulness of the commodity. This is called utility. So we discussed one of the important topic, one of the important concept of economics, that is the utility. Besides the utility, there are many other terms normally in our daily life we used, but you do not know the exact meaning of those terms. Intentionally and unintentionally in the market or any other places we use this term, and every person, I think, used or heard this term. Nothing new to them, whether he is illiterate or literate. For example, the value. For example, the price. For example, the wealth. The example, the difference between price and the value. Welfare, consumption, consumer, land, labor, capital, wealth, return, household, government, many more terms are there. We will go to discuss in economics with exact meaning, with proper explanation. So what is the meaning of the word, the value? When you use the term value, value means what? Number one, the use value. The use value Second, the exchange value. The exchange value. Exchange value. This value actually placed by the household who use that particular commodity or the product. The household places the value of the commodity. So what is the value? This is the use value, that is the usefulness of that product placed by the household. These are two kinds, the use value and the exchange value. What is use value? Nothing. Use values, in other words, we can say simply the utility. Simply the utility. The power of a commodity to satisfy your need, to satisfy your want, to satisfy your hungers. This is called utility, use value. Use value of this pen to write on the board. Use value of the mobile to talk. Fan has the use value to gives you comforts. So every product has the use value. Then what is called the exchange value? What is called the exchange value? Water is the use value. Without water we cannot live. Without fulfill our thirst, books fulfill our knowledge. So every commodities have the use value. What we call the utility. My question here, what is called exchange value? Exchange value. Exchange value is nothing but the exchange of one commodity for another. Exchange value is nothing but exchange of one commodity for another is called the exchange value. Suppose price of shirt is rupees, price of a books rupees 50, rupees 50, while on the shirt, one piece shirt, the price rupees 100, rupees 100. If you want to buy a piece of book, you have to pay rupees 50. If you want to buy or purchased a shirt, you have to pay for one shirt rupees 100. Then what is the exchange value between the shirt and the books? This is what? This is 2:1. That means if I used or spend 100 rupees, I may purchase 2 books. But if I use the same money, same amount of money to purchase the shirt, I may maximum get 1 shirt by spending rupees 100. So what is the exchange value? 2:1. That means 1 shirt equal to 2 books. This is the exchange value between the books and the shirt. You see, if I do not buy shirt, by using the same price money, I may buy the 2 books. So this is the exchange value of this shirt and books. This is called exchange value. Exchange value means in the market, exchange of one goods for another in the market. The rate of exchange is called the exchange value. So we give more importance in the while we are going to market, not in use value but also in the exchange value. So this is the difference between the use value and the exchange value. Another important thing, this is called price. What is price? The amount of money what we pay for exchange of one unit of a particular commodity. If the price of a pen rupees 10, what do you mean? What do you mean by this? It means that I have to pay rupees 10 in exchange of or to buy one piece of pen. This is the price. Price may increase or decrease or may remain constant. This is another thing. This is another thing, but this is the price. The amount of money what we pay to get 1 unit of that particular commodity, this is called the price. Then what is the price? Just now I told you, so what is the difference between then price and the value? The value is nothing but the exchange price. Value is nothing but is the exchange price. Then what is price? This is the actual money what we pay to get 1 unit of that commodity. So this is the difference between price and the value. Another important concept in economics, that is the wealth. Wealth and welfare. Normally these two words go simultaneous and together, because well-being of the people, welfare of the people depends on the wealth, and wealth depends on income. Wealth depends on income. Wealth are those commodities which gives you income. For example, the buildings. For example, machines, furnitures, golds, ornaments, land, almirah, whatever you have, either in cash or in the form of asset, which gives you the income. This is called the wealth. If you have more wealth, naturally it will bring more welfare to your family. If a country have more wealth, this will bring more happiness to the peoples of the country. That country may be called developed country. If the country have less wealth, especially the natural wealth, the country may be called the underdeveloped country, the poor country. So whether a person is poor or rich, whether a country is developed or underdeveloped, it depends the availability of wealth. It may be the natural wealth or any other's wealth, because without wealth you cannot generate income. And without wealth there is no happiness. Without wealth there is no pleasure. Without wealth there is no education. Without wealth there is no health facilities. Without wealth there is no other facilities. Without wealth there is no standard of living. Without wealth there is no nutritional food. This is the wealth and welfare. But keep in mind here very carefully, it is also not true the wealth always brings happiness or pleasure to the family. Maybe one person have a huge wealth, huge money he has, but he has 4 sons. All 4 sons are illiterate, do not know how to write and how to read. Is he happy? He has huge money, but all his sons are illiterate, do not know how to speak and how to write. Is he happy? No, of course not. So it is always not true that wealth always brings happiness or pleasure to the family. I can give you example. Saudi Arabia or Arab Emirates, huge natural resources, reserve of petroleums, crude oil, largest reserves. But we never call all these countries, the countries of Middle East, the developed nations, because they don't have the technological know-how, but they have the wealth. For technological know-how, they depends on America, they depends on Russia, they depends on Britain, they depends on Israel. But these are technological based countries. Without having their natural resources like the petroleum or crude oil, they are more advanced, more developed than the Saudi Arabia or Arab Emirates. This is the difference between wealth and the welfare. But without wealth, it is true, without wealth you cannot generate income. Without wealth you cannot develop yourself. This is the very, very important thing about regarding the wealth and the welfare. Next, the consumption. What is consumption? We use the term. Normally use the term always consumption. What is consumption? The consumption is nothing but it is the act of consuming something. It is the act of taking something to fulfill your needs or the wants or your hunger is called consumption. It is a continuous process. The person who are involved in the process of consumption, they are called consumer. They are called consumer. We are the consumers because we purchase goods and services from the market. We purchase mobile for speak to others. We purchase pen to write. We purchase whiteboard to write. We are the consumers. We are the consumer. So the act of using or consuming something is called consumption, and those persons who are involved in the process of consumption is called consumer. So you know this term, I think, consumption and consumer. So today is no more, my dear students. There are many more terms. In the next class, I am going to discuss like land, labor, capital, household, government, and other. If there is any more terms, we'll discuss in detail. Today is no more. Thank you to all of you. I hope that you are watching all the classes which are taking through the online classes.